Hello and welcome to the Elder Tree podcast. My name is Twiggy Dawn, founder of the Elder Tree and Alchemilla Herbals. You are listening to the Herbal Educators segment, where each new moon I will be inviting a series of guests to chat about the world of herbal education, about their passions and motivations, and their dreams for the future of herbal medicine in Australia. Sharn Harper is a traditional herbalist with over 2 decades of experience in the field of natural health and herbal medicine. She worked for over 8 years at Mullumbimby Herbals and over 8 years at Koda Phytorium as a practitioner and herbal manufacturing educator, and she also managed Koda Phytorium for 5 years. Sharn's commitment to education has played an important role in nurturing some of the next generation of herbalists and naturopaths. Over the past 2 decades, she has actively produced herbal medicines and mastered the art of herbal percolation, contributing significantly to the field's practical knowledge. Sharn founded Byron Botanicals 20 years ago, and less than 2 months ago she sold this beautiful business. She has now established the Urban Apothecary in South Australia, where she continues to provide the community with natural remedies and herbal solutions, and she invites students of herbal medicine to learn from her. She also currently works for Switch On Health, marking students' assignments. In Sharn's current herbal dispensary, she makes around 99% of her own tinctures and other medicines that she dispenses, and this is one of the standout things in what she offers. In this interview, Sharn shares her journey from romance, starting at a compost heap, to meeting Paul Stamets in Koda Phytorium. We talk about the importance of staying away from competitive mindset and industry mindset, instead fostering an interconnected community of mutually supportive herbalists. We talk about ways that herbal medicines can be reintegrated back into the hospitals and doctors' clinics. Sharn shares her dreams for a more affordable and hands-on education opportunity in Australia. Her dreams for herbal education being less corporate and more heart-based. I love her unending passion, dedication, humility, and inclusive nature. I hope that you all enjoy this chat as much as I did. Hi, Sharn. Welcome to the Elder Tree podcast. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
Hi, Twiggy. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. It's really nice to have you joining me on here today. You're a great source of inspiration, and I've enjoyed watching you over the years and seeing your journeys. And yeah, look forward to introducing you to the listeners that haven't heard of you and haven't seen your beautiful offerings. So yeah, thank you for being here today.
No worries.
So I'd love to jump straight in the deep end and just hear a bit about your journey to get to where you are right now, particularly relating to being a student of herbal medicine.
I can't remember exactly what age I was when I started, but I had a broken marriage and I was an enrolled nurse, and I met this wonderful man, Jeff, who's been my partner for over 30 years now. And he was a permaculturist. He owned an organic almond acreage. And I started with, I first met his wife, and she was actually studying herbs, which was a bit of a bonus because it actually brought us together with his ex-wife. She was studying and we got talking, and she kept talking about the herbs in the botanical name, and I thought, oh my goodness, I don't know what she's talking about. So I did a bit of study and I started to really love it, and I thought, oh, I can't do the same. So I thought I'll do massage. And I started doing a little bit of massage study, and we got talking one day, and she thought, well, I'm going to do study on massage. And I said, well, would you mind if I did herbs? And she said, we could do some of it together. So it was this most wonderful thing. We both finished roughly at the same time, but it was perfect for me. I mean, when I met my husband, the first thing he said to me was, come and see my compost heap. And that's when the romance began. And we went out into the property. He showed me this massive compost heap and how to feel for the heat and how we collected the poo. And so that was my introduction, because before that, honestly, I think I was not earthed at all. I think I was totally unearthed and unhappy. Even though I had two beautiful children, I just was in the fast lane all the time. And the nursing, I wasn't happy with. And I'd taken on work as a physiotherapist assistant, which I wasn't happy with. And then I decided to start this study and do this. I did just a diploma in herbal medicine, which is really all they had back in those days. Or you could do a diploma in naturopathy, which I didn't want to do. I wanted it to be totally plant-based, and I knew that right from the beginning. And my husband and I used to come down and visit Byron and go to COFs, and we go right up to Atherton Tablelands with the kids in a tent, do all of that. And then one day we decided that we're going to move to Byron Bay, and we bought a property in Mullumbimby, and went to Point Ziana's one day for lunch. I needed some cream. My daughter had a rash. It was a fungal thing because of the humidity. And I went into this little tiny herbal dispensary on the side, and it was Mullumbimby Herbals, and asked for some calendula cream. And they said, "Oh, we haven't got that. Not put it in a cream." And I said, "Oh, well, you can," because I'd read about it and I'd made a few things at home. And that's how I got to know the people at Mullum Herbals, and I became their first apprentice. And my husband decked out their shop, and I worked for them. And I honestly, I can tell you, the study that I got from Health Schools Australia was poor and uh, wasn't very good. But because I worked at Mullum Herbals basically for the probably 2.5 years of my study, I was so privileged because I got to use the herbs all the time. I got to make Mullum Herbals. I couldn't actually do over the counter consultation, or if I did, I had to run up past one of them, make sure I was on the right track to make the tincture. And then once I was qualified, I worked there for another, I don't know, probably 7 years. Um, and it was fantastic. It was probably the best apprenticeship anyone could receive. Jacinta McEwen, who's now just a wonderful friend and colleague, she was the one I worked with nearly, probably 99% of the time I worked with her. And no, she was amazing, and I love her as a friend. And we both hold each other up now. We're both getting older, and so that's how I basically began. And I worked there until I ended up working for Koda Phytorium. And Koda Phytorium was a little shop in Byron. I'd sold the property in Mullum. The kids had all gone off to uni. And my husband and I felt a little lost once the kids left. And we decided to sell and travel for a year. And when we came back, we were going to move to South Australia, and we bought this little block in Suffolk Park, and we decided to build again house number 4. And I couldn't get a job, and I think it was my age, and I still struggle with that today because I'm over 60. Quite often you can't get a job in a health food shop because they want someone younger. So I couldn't get a job. I tried in a few health food shops with all my experience at Mullum Herbals, all of that. And I walked into this shop called Koda Phytorium because I just bought a camera. I thought it was said Kodak. I know. I walked in, and a girl from South Australia was running it, and they had over 250 herbs on the wall. I couldn't believe my eyes, and they employed me straight away. And I managed that shop. for about 5 years. So it was a blessing. And I did a lot of workshops there, did a lot of educating. And it was a shop that was a bit shamanic. What's it called? Shaman Australis is owned by the people that owned Koda Phytorium. So we did a lot of books on journeying, a lot of books on mushrooms. Paul Stamets came in and asked me.
Wow.
I didn't know who he was, and he said, "Can I sign all those books out the back?" And I thought, "Who are you?" And then he said, "I'm Paul Stamets." I said, "I don't know. Is it true?" And he showed me his car. Then he signed all our books.
Oh, wow.
So it was
Cool.
nice to meet him. And yeah, that was a learning curve for me, that shop. But I had a lot of students that finished from Lismore University came to work there. So that was amazing because I learnt as much as they did. They were wonderful and we all loved working together. And I taught them a lot. They taught me a lot. So that was a good thing. Mm,
Wow. What a beautiful journey.
it
It's
is. And it's still
incredible.
going.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Wow. So at what point did you start Byron Botanicals, your business that you had for
Mm.
how many years? How long did you have
Well,
Byron
I had the
Botanicals for?
name registered for 15 years, but probably had it for about 20, just never had it registered, didn't have a website. I mean, websites weren't so big back then. With
Hmm.
it wasn't that you all ran out and got a website or did anything like that. But I registered it about 15 years ago, a bit less than 15, I think. And it came from me manufacturing. So when I was at Mullumbimby Herbals, I used to make a lot, and I ended up making that. Asked if I could make a skincare range because they didn't have anything in the shop that was all natural. So that's what it started with. And it also started with rare tinctures that you couldn't get the herbs. You couldn't get the herbal tinctures from MediHerb or any of the big companies. So, like comfrey root, um, they couldn't get that. So I made comfrey root tincture, be in maceration process. So a big snotty, gooky tincture.
Hmm.
And there was a few others that we just couldn't get. So I'd make them. And probably I didn't put them online. Byron Botanicals, I didn't put any of the tinctures online till I moved to Adelaide. So that's 5 years ago. Before that was just my skincare products and a few basic calendula, antifungal type things with calendula, powdarco, golden seal, or arnica and lobelia for pain, um, and also to help repair muscle. I did a few other things like MSM cream and put them all online, and also used the website to advertise my workshops. So I did herbal manufacture workshops, skincare product manufacture workshops, first aid, herbal first aid, whatever people really asked for. They used to come into the shop and ask for certain things, and I'd do them. It was
Yeah.
great. And it was great working at a shop, which I always tell my students, if you ever get the opportunity, I think it would be lovely if everyone could have a herbal dispensary because there's people that just can't afford to actually see practitioners, but to be able to go in and say, look, I've got a sniffle, I've got a cold, or I've hurt my arm, or sprained my leg, and can they get something and have a practitioner say, well, look, I can make you up this, make it a bit bespoke, or put something quickly together for them, like my cough's sticky and I want something for that, rather than going to the health food store and then just picking up whatever they've got that isn't that specific. Mm.
Hmm.
So I always try to talk them into
Beautiful.
doing that.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. So what made you want to become an educator? Like what inspires you? What made you want to do that?
Uh, I always say to people that herbal medicine is the people's medicine. It's just what Susan
Mm,
Weed says. And uh, it's funny. I don't think you can teach people everything, obviously, when it comes to chronic illness and things that are quite embedded. You need to go and see a herbalist or naturopath. But everyday things, you know, teas for coughs and colds, even tinctures, even making your own tincture, I think just should be part of our growing up, should be handed
mm.
down from elder to child. And that's what I think was missing. And I get a lot of beautiful young women, mind you, some of them are a bit lazy, but you know, I teach them how to make elderberry syrup, and they ring up and say, "Sharn, have you made any? Can I buy it?" Even though they know how
Yep.
to make it. They say, "You're being
Yep.
lazy." So they go,
Yeah,
"Well,
I have that
no."
all the time.
But I think it's part of, and especially for me, because I've studied herbal medicine and lived it and breathed it and grown the herbs and I teach it. I think it's part of my responsibility to hand it down. I would
Mm,
feel like I it wasn't fair if I didn't, because obviously I've had some passed down to me through Mullumbimby Herbals or passed to me through people who've gone to university, because I didn't do that university degree. I did a diploma and it wasn't, I don't think, as complicated as it is today, because now I have to learn a lot. Just marking, I've had to go back and actually refresh and learn extra, which is
mm.
fantastic. It can still teach an old dog new tricks.
Because you do the marking for Switch on Health, don't you, for
Yes,
assignments there?
yes.
Uh-huh.
And I love Switch on Health because my students, the reason I got in there is because through you, one of my students actually looked at your RAD magazine and saw me in
Hmm.
the back and saw that I was from South Australia and contacted me, and she was a student of Switched on Health. So it's like this little world that's interwoven everything, and all of a sudden, someone's got to me through you to a school that just happened to, on one of the naturopathic sites, there was a girl on there talking about coming over from Wales, and I just happened to write, my mum is Welsh, and all my family were Welsh. And she said, "Oh, I can't believe it. I'm coming to Adelaide." And she came to Adelaide and found out that she works for Switched On Health as the marketing manager. And she said, "I think one of your students is," so it was like this really, that's what I love. I think if we all speak out, herbal medicine
Mm.
becomes more popular. We all get to know each other. We all become like a family. Mm,
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. It's not an industry, is it? It's a movement, it's a community, it's
mm.
a family, it's an interconnected web, and we're all so connected, even just around Australia. So yeah, I love that. I love getting out of the industry mindset and that,
Yes.
and getting into that more like connected, yeah,
Oh,
space. Because we can all be a bit isolated from one another, a lot of people are doing things quite far away from each other. And yeah, it's nice. It's nice when we can all work together and inspire each other as well.
well,
Yeah.
that's what I love about Margie Flint and Rosemary Gladstar and Matthew
Mm.
Wood. It's like a big family, and I'd love to have more of that here with herbalists here. I mean,
Yeah.
I do talk to other herbalists, like Pat Collins. I follow her, and we always will say something to each other. Jacinta and I are really close, and we're talking about doing some workshops together. And with Switched On Health too, they have quite a few naturopaths and that working for them. And I just had breakfast with Martin Stone, who actually is the founder, and he's a naturopath and he is solely an educator. And it's really nice to have that connection, to learn from each other. We can talk about herbs and what we use it for, and they'll give us some information on that as well. So I think it's important. I would love, look, I've even put it out there and nothing's really happened in Adelaide. Any herbalists or naturopaths there that want to have a gathering. Sometimes I think there's a little bit of fear of competition, but
Oh,
I
that's just
completely
that
lack
industry mindset.
I
Yeah.
lack competitiveness. If anyone tries to compete with me, I go, here, you have it, because it's not in my vocabulary. I don't need to compete with anybody. I'm just happy
Yeah.
being who I am. And I shy away a little bit more from the limelight. Like, I've probably had a whole stress thing this afternoon just chatting because I find it a little bit scary. But I'm
Mm.
not competitive, and I love to share. So
Mm.
that would be nice if people wanted to have a big gathering of herbalists and naturopaths together. I would love that. Mm,
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, yeah.
mm,
Again, I think that competitive thing just it just comes from that industry mindset. It's just,
mm,
if we're kind of if it's like impersonal, because there's so much room for all of us. Like we all have different gifts and specialties and our own unique kind of angle on things, and we need each other. Like we are full when when we have
mm.
each other's perspectives and opinions, and yeah, so yeah, that'd be great. Call in a gathering there
I
in
will.
Adelaide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like it in Australia. Can you imagine up your way
Mm,
somewhere we have a massive gathering of herbal minds, and
that's the plan.
oh,
Yep,
I'll
that's
be
the
there
plan for the
if
elder
you
tree. Yeah.
invite me.
Beautiful. Yeah. And I mean, there is the Herb Fest that happens down on Sunshine Coast. I've interviewed Heidi Marika and Kat Green, and they're the masterminds behind that gathering. And that's a really beautiful gathering there on the Sunshine Coast once a year, just bringing together all herby folk.
I've never heard of it. Isn't that awful? I think when we're down in South Australia, we don't get to hear about a lot.
Yeah, yeah, well, that's what I mean again, of that like that isolation that can happen in Australia. And there's
Mm,
actually so many wonderful people doing amazing things in their communities, and we could all be kind of bouncing
mhm,
off each other a bit more. So yeah, that's one of the things I love about doing this podcast is kind of just getting people connected. And even through,
mm,
that I started up the Rad Herb zine with a couple of other ladies, and then that's how I met you. And then so many other things have come from
mm.
that, even for you, just that interconnectedness. So when it's easy to kind of just be focused on what's going on around us, which is good. We want to kind of localize our energy, but then when we kind of zoom out and see what's going on, it gets pretty exciting, and yeah, get inspired by one another. So yeah,
Mm.
Herbfest, they just had it maybe a month or two ago, so they have it
Oh,
every
I missed
year.
it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have been up here either. I probably have been here 5 weeks, and I've been to the Sunshine Coast 3 times. But yeah, I
Mm.
think it would be lovely to be able to meet other herbalists and share stuff that we know. And for me, it's not that I'm trying to create a lot more business now. I'm sort of
Hmm.
just being happy teaching, marking, having students come in, might do a couple of markets, but with Byron Botanicals, the student I had last, Deb Samuel, I'm sure you'll hear about her. She's amazing. She was my student for about a year and a half, and she did her clinic hours with me and also helped me make everything. So Byron Botanicals had about 150 different tinctures. So I had to make them all. And we had all different creams. If people ordered a tincture, they would have to do a short consultation, fill out a form, and then if there were any complications because of that form, I'd have to ring up and I'd do a free 10-minute consultation. Or if it was too complicated, they'd have to book in with me. So it had that on offer, and then it had all different creams, skincare products, and so I was busy, and it was just getting busier and busier to the point that having the students there was amazing. They would learn how to make all the tinctures and the creams, and then it would also help me because I have to try and keep up with everyone wanting orders. I could have 6 percolators running every day. So I don't know how Deb's going. No, I do know how Deb's going. She's just handling it absolutely beautifully. And she's very busy. Um, and her husband is helping her as well. So that's fantastic. He's making the percolators, and I didn't sell overseas, but she's actually selling overseas. So she's already sold percolator, one to Iceland and the other one to,
Wow.
I can't remember where the other place was. She did tell me about it today, but she's selling overseas as well. So fantastic.
Hmm.
And I was really, it was my time. She asked if I ever wanted to sell it, would I be interested in her buying it? And I just felt like, oh my goodness, the heavens have
Hmm.
opened, given me the perfect person. She's just
Yeah.
amazing. And I felt
And
this
she'd
confidence.
been your student for 2 years, didn't she, before she bought the
Yes,
business?
yes. So she was at Switched
Mm.
On Health. And so I felt confident. And if she's got any questions, she can ask me for as long as she likes. Like we are, like, she's just like a colleague now. And I felt confident that she could handle it. And she hasn't really
Mm.
had to run a lot past me. Every now and then a little question, but I'm really confident in her. And um, my private clients didn't go to her, but my Byron Botanical clients did. Mm,
Mm. Oh, that's so beautiful. You spend 20 years or so building this
mm,
thing that's your baby and your whole life. And then, to be able to trust someone to hand that over and to let them then evolve that and change that and recreate that as their own. That takes, yeah, it takes a certain kind of person
mm,
that can do that, to let go of that baby and then trust someone and then have joy watching what it becomes in new hands.
mm.
So
Oh,
yeah.
I think she'll take it a lot further because she's younger and she has that
Mm.
energy, that renewed energy, where she wants to take it further. For me, it was quite, I enjoyed it and I loved it, and it was time. It was time to move
Mm.
on from that. Uh, I've always been that sort of person. Material stuff, I've never had to feel like I have to keep it. Um, and even though the herbs are beautiful and the teachers are beautiful, I got to keep half of them for my dispensary. So I've still got this beautiful
Wow.
dispensary for my clients, and I'm still making. Obviously, I run out and I have to make, but it's not on such a huge scale. It's scaled
Mm.
down, and I think it's that time in my life. I feel like it's that time in my life that I just need to slow down a bit, so that
Mm.
I can enjoy. And I suppose I'm not retired, I'm semi-retired, and loving it. I get to go out in the garden more. Before it was limited to once a week. Now I can go out in the garden every day and smell the roses, play with my herbs. My garden is magnificent. It's got rare herbs, got beautiful herbs, and um, I think I just missed it, and now I've got time to go out in the garden. Mm,
Wonderful.
mm.
Wow, wow. So in your dispensary, so you're a practitioner, you make your tinctures, and so out of your dispensary, how much of what you're dispensing is what you've made yourself?
Uh, oh, 99.9%. I don't make licorice and I don't make uh, poke root, and I don't make, well, I do make St. John's wort, but if I'm using it for depression of any kind, I buy MediHerb standardized. But apart from that, make everything else.
That's incredible. I only know of two people in Australia that can say that, actually. So it doesn't mean they're the only ones, but out of all of my research and all of my, putting my feelers out for years, I only know two people, and I think that's really admirable. It's something
Mm.
that's really missing. It's something that's not, people aren't having enough teachers to teach them how to do something like that. Like the university's not really having a strong focus on making your own medicine, or especially not on growing your own medicine and making it fresh and all of that as well. So it's I find it really highly inspirational that you're doing that,
Well,
and good on you.
I think that is what's missing, and the students that I've had, whether they be doing natural therapies or they're not. Some people I've taken on that are young, that are really interested in herbal medicine, but they're not studying, and then they've gone on to study. So I think the hands-on side of it is missing in the university. I did a guest speaker at Lismore University, and it was quite sad actually. They rushed the class over 2 days, and they didn't allow people to make and take home. And so that was a huge thing. When you produce something from plants, you become connected to that and you want to take it home. So I watched students sneaking things, but they weren't allowed to take it home. They said it wasn't sterile enough.
Oh,
And I know. And I did ask if we could do it outside, and they said no, it was against policy. And I did the actual last class before it was taken out of the Lismore University. But when I taught at Koda and I had practitioners come, I had a couple of pharmacist practitioners come. I've had a lot of people that own herbal dispensaries have come to my workshops. And it's that wanting to do hands-on. I think it's really important. I teach how to make a base cream so that you can add your tinctures to it. So you start making that base, then you add your tinctures to it. I teach how to infuse, and then also how to we're beekeepers as well. Well, my husband is, and I take the wax from our bees and I use that and the honey as well. And we do our honey so it's not heated, so it's full of the enzymes as well. And we're on a little
beautiful.
a bit bigger than a quarter acre block, and we grow so much. So I wouldn't say that probably only 10% of my plants I use. 10% of my tinctures I use from plants in the garden. It's not big enough to grow enough for Byron Botanicals, but now that I haven't got Byron Botanicals, I probably will have enough just for my private clinic.
Thanks so much for sharing that, Sharn. It's really incredible. You're one of only a couple of people I know in Australia that can boast that, and I really hope that there's listeners out there that become inspired to even just integrate a small
Mm.
amount of their dispensary, like from medicines they've made in their own garden. So now I'd love to hear from you a bit about what you found as a herbal educator, what some of the biggest benefits and the unexpected gems have been for you and for your community in providing these educational services.
Well, the benefits for me are tons. I get to meet beautiful people, I get to inspire them. Then I feel inspired by them that the world is just going to be amazing. Uh, I've I've seen some of my students that have come uh, start their own businesses. Uh, some of them have, gone on to develop products. Um, And now I do the herbal gathering. So I have 9 women that usually are the same 9 women that are all working in a field that's helping people. So quite a few from work for NDIS, quite a few are registered nurses, some are body workers, some are students, and I learn a lot from them, just uh, how they're using the herbs, why they want to use the herbs, and then that opens up conversation in their specific field. But for them, I think they get a lot out of it because they feel like there isn't just the medical profession. A lot of them are working in the medical field, and they feel like there's hope. And I've actually know some of the nurses that are making balms and that and actually using it in the hospitals.
Wow.
So that is fantastic. So they've come from a registered nurse point at the side. They've made stuff and they've taken it to work and been able to use it. So
That's really
that is,
inspiring. Yeah, because I every single
it
one of my
is.
workshops I've ever run I've had at least one nurse at every single workshop, even had a GP once. And yeah, my workshop last weekend had two nurses. And yeah, often they're kind of torn between feeling like they need to leave that world in order to choose the natural path. And I'm always, a big advocate for no, like the two systems need to work side by side. And
Oh,
like then we have really like integrative therapies like that. So yeah, it's a shame when people kind of feel like they have to choose one or the other. And yeah, but that's amazing hearing nurses bringing the medicine herbs
yeah.
into the hospital.
Well, it was. I also met a man. Don't ask me what his name is. I can't remember because it was a long, long time ago. But he lived out near Harndorf somewhere, and he was a German man. And I remember I was teaching someone how to make skincare products privately, and we couldn't get hold of shea butter. And she said, "I know this man. We'll go and see his place." And he was making balms and salves, and the hospital near Harndorf was actually purchasing them for the hospital. And he actually wasn't qualified, but he was very knowledgeable and selling them to the hospital. So there, it does happen. It does happen that hospitals will use stuff
Wow.
that you just got to get in there, I suppose. Mm.
That's amazing. Yeah, I know that in India, it's a lot of most, if not all, of the hospitals integrate Ayurvedic practices, with herbal medicine and just different holistic, natural practices into the hotel. Sorry, into the
Mm.
hospitals. Yeah, I'd love to
Mm.
see more of that in Australia.
Well, I used to have this thought that wouldn't it be wonderful if in like especially when I look at our doctors' rooms around the corner. So they've got a pharmacy attached to the doctors' rooms and that's it. But wouldn't it be great if they had a herbal dispensary there and people who did want to have, I mean, they could have integrative doctors there, but sometimes I just feel that doctors have enough on their plate with their time constraints and everything, will they do herbal medicine justice? And I'd love to see a herbal dispensary there when they can say, this person's got a cough or cold, they're not on any medication. Can you whip them something up and work together with a doctor in medical practice? Would be
Mm.
lovely. I'd like that.
Yeah,
But I don't know
beautiful.
if it'll ever happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if it will happen.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like we've got a long way to go before that could happen within the hospital system, but there are
Mm,
more and more integrative, multidisciplinary clinics popping up in Australia. And at the Elder Tree, that's our intention, is to have one there where we
mm,
have, we have a GP, which I have a GP friend lined up for that, who's kind of waiting for that opportunity once we've created the clinic. And then within the clinic, people can be referred, people could come in and they might start off with going to see a naturopath or a herbalist, or and then realize that actually it's
mm,
it needs tests done, or a certain, we can refer
mm.
within the clinic, rather than people kind of getting handballed all over the place out, from one place to another. So yeah, and I'm pretty excited to see that in action, because I've never actually been to a multidisciplinary clinic that has a GP as well. So I think that yeah, that's the way forward, because yeah, we all need to kind of live alongside one another, and
Mm,
if we're doing it all right, then kind of GPs should really mostly be there for really advanced chronic conditions, or like when we're needing tests and we're needing a real clinical eye, and then we've kind of got the herbalism can be really preventative as well as treating things. But it's they're very complementary, and I do come across a lot of people that feel like they have to choose one or the other.
mm,
So I look forward. I'm already seeing a mindset shift, and I look forward to seeing more of a mindset shift over the years to come as well.
mm. At Mullumbimby Herbals, we did have a doctor there that used to work there.
Oh wow.
She was amazing, and it was great actually, because even though when she started working there, I wasn't doing consultation, only over the counter, but I think Jacinta and Val and Elvian, if they wanted blood tests done, she'd just say yes and get it all done.
Mm.
So she was working with them to help them, and then she'd come out and say, "Well, I want to give a herbal tincture. What do you think of this?" And they would help her as well. So that was lovely. That was a lot. That would have been probably about 12 years ago. Dr.
Oh,
Christie, she was really good.
beautiful.
So it has happened before. I don't know. They may have a doctor there now. I'm not sure. Um, I haven't been in contact with them so much now.
Mm.
And Val, Jacinta and Elvian sold their part of the business, and I was a lot closer to them. Val owns the business, and he does that sort of thing, that he has students come in and also then employs the students once they're qualified. So he does a really good job with that.
Mm.
Um, yeah, like an apprenticeship for them. A
Yep.
bit like Gould. I mean, Jason
Yeah.
Horrocks worked at Mullumbimby Herbals with me. So,
So it's more
but
like
it
a
was like,
internship. That's more like, the
yes.
post university kind of work placement. Um, yeah, that step.
Or even while
Mm.
they're at university, I remember Jason was still at uni, and then he was doing his PhD, but he was working with Val mostly. And then his wife as well, I think she did some work as well. So prior to finishing and also after they finished, it was quite a treat having Jason there with all his gut stuff. So we all felt really privileged to learn about as he was doing his doctorate as well. And then Val's wife Annette, uh, and I can't say the last name; it's too complicated. Annette Wasink, something like that. So she taught at the university. She didn't work at Mullumbimby Herbals, but I think somewhere it was her original baby. She taught at the university, and then she did her doctorate as well on ginkgo and Alzheimer's. So we
Mm.
all were privileged enough to get to learn all that stuff while we were there as well. Mm.
Wonderful.
It's great.
Do you know if they still offer those like internships at Mullum?
Yes, I'm pretty well 100% sure. They've got Mullumbimby Herbals, and they've also got Brunswick Herbals as well. And yes, I think they do have internships there. Basically, I don't think you have to pay for it. I think it's just you come and work for free while you're studying, but then once you're qualified, they pay you a really terrific income.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, because the only place I'd
Mm.
I'd found in Australia from all of my research, the only place I'd found that was offering internships was Gould's. So yeah, it's good to hear of more people offering those kind of.
It's,
A lot of people leave
mm.
university feeling really unprepared to enter into their own practice. So it's really wonderful when places can offer that stepping stone. Yeah, especially if it is quite a holistic environment, and really quite connected with the plants and the medicine making and all of that. Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is. I think I'm pretty sure they still have students there. And I know that I don't know if they call it an internship. I think they just employ you, and it becomes an internship while you're employed. I know that Gould's do an internship because one of the girls that worked with me at Koda Phytorium, Michaela, I don't know her, I can't remember her last name, but she did the internship at Gould's. And that was really exciting for her, and she just loved it. And I'm sure I do have her on Facebook, but I haven't talked to her. But I'm sure she would have done amazingly because she was an amazing naturopath. So I think that's the joy of doing what I do, is I just get to meet beautiful people. We work with the plants, and they learn from me, and I learn from them. That's all I need really in life.
Yeah.
Not much more than that. And because Jeff's a permaculturist and I'm a herbalist, it works really well together. I have lots of beautiful plants, and I think that's a really important part. Even if you just grow them in pots. People say to me, "Oh, I haven't got a garden, I can't do anything." And I say, "Oh, rubbish. I don't care if you live in an apartment. You can always do something.
Definitely.
You can always grow something."
Yeah, or be involved with the community garden is also something that I'm a big advocate
Oh,
for,
yes.
especially for people that are traveling, or, fly in, fly out, or things like that, where they can't necessarily care for a garden at their homes. And then getting involved in community gardens is a great way of, being hands on the earth and growing, being with the medicine and having a good relationship, directly with the plants.
Oh, yes. We do have a few where we live, in the community centre. Just down the road, there's a beautiful community garden. I don't get to go there so much, but maybe now, because I only sold the business just before I came on holiday. So it's very new.
So
So maybe
a
I'll
few
get a
weeks ago.
chance. Probably about the 6th of July, we changed hands. But I've been on holiday for 5 weeks. So this is a long, long deserved holiday.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Haven't
You've
had a
earned it.
holiday for about 5 years.
Beautiful.
Last time I tried to holiday, COVID hit and I got to the Sunshine Coast, and then I had to race back before it went into lockdown. So I didn't get a holiday. Mm.
So, something I really love to invite people that come onto the show, something I really love to invite people to do, is to kind of picture your perfect world with when it comes to herbal education in Australia. Like, what, if you could imagine your perfect world, what would that be? What kind of changes would you like to see, or opportunities become available with herbal medicine education?
I think I'd like uh, it to be more earthy, the education side of it. I'd like to see it be a little bit more hands-on and not so. I think it's important that you do have the science, but I'd like to see it be a little bit more grounded, where uh, people came into a classroom that was very informal and be able to make, and I think it sounds a little bit like what you want to do as well, where I can have students in. I have had students from quite a few of the colleges, and their medicine making side of it isn't that great. And I think I'd love to be able to offer that where it's not so expensive. I mean, some of my students are going to have $40,000 to $60,000 debts before they go out to practice, and then it makes the practice that they have to charge so much money, and then it limits the who you have as clients. So then it becomes the average everyday person from a lower socio-economic place cannot get help from herbal medicine. So I would like to see I don't know. I don't know if they can do it because everyone seems to charge a lot, but I do know that Switched On Health is a lot cheaper. It's about $20,000. So I do like the fact that it's making it more affordable, but they don't give a bachelor, they only give an advanced diploma. And some of the big companies like MediHerb and that are stopping supplying people giving an advanced diploma. So that I would love to see that change instead of it being such a corporate business. I'd like to see it go back to being earthy and more loving, caring, empathetic instead of money making.
Getting away from the industry.
Getting away from the industry. I do understand that the science part of it is important, but I do love the way America has gone
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. And I would like to, no, and I'm not talking about you have to become a doctor first before you can teach naturopathy. I'm talking about the grassroots herbalists. I would love to see it go that way a bit more.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think that pretty much everything you just said is what almost everyone says in their own different words. You know, everyone that I've interviewed on here, it's like we're all picturing the same world. We're all, you know, though mind you, pretty much everyone that I'm interviewing on here is actively creating that world too. You know, we're all kind of working alone and working together to, you know, create a new kind of, yeah, a new world, the world that we wish, that the education world that we wish that we'd had available to us. And yeah, I'm pretty excited to see, you know, what happens in the years to come as well. So yeah, I feel like even though things are kind of getting more and more sterile and more clinical, at the same time also feels like there's this uprising kind of, you know, grassroots energy building as well. And so yeah, I really hope for those kind of two paradigms to work alongside one another the same way that they do in America. There's so many shades of herbalism. You know, you can have your herbal doctors, you know,
Yes.
Aviva Rom is someone that I really love following there, you know, midwife, herbalist, doctor, incredible science, you know, but she's also very holistically minded. You know, there's, you know, the people like that choose to integrate that really get to understand the science. That's, you know, so beneficial. But then there's also the herbalist that, you know, the wise woman in the cabin that's just got just the lady with all the plants, or the wise man, or, you know, like that's just really there, like just
Like Susan
making
Weed and
like Susan Weed, exactly, yeah. And then everywhere in between, all the Rosemary Gladstars and
Sars.
David Hoffman and Matthew Woods and all of those incredible people over there that are like somewhere in the middle. You know, they're grassroots herbalists that are also backed by science. And yeah, there's such a plethora of herbal pathways over there. And at the moment, a lot of the schools in Australia are kind of geared, like the big schools are kind of geared with one pathway for herbalism. So I look forward to seeing more and more pathways kind of opening up and people
I think
feeling.
it will. I feel positive about the future with herbal medicine. I think it'll actually go in a positive direction, but there's always going to be those ups and downs that you get along the way. And for me, I just hope that I can get lots of students that come and I can share what I know with them. You know, I think that's just part of my journey now. I'm not really out for making, I don't have to pay any loans back or do anything like that. So, and two, I'm just getting older that I'd rather teach more than actually see clients. So I do still see clients and I have regulars that I've had for years and years. So, but I'm not advertising out there to get more.
Yeah.
It's just word of mouth, or if somebody happens to come up and wants to see me.
So would you share a bit about what, you know, what all your offerings are, you know, at the moment, I know that you have now the Urban Apothecary. Could you share with us a bit about that journey, the new chapter, and what your offerings are right now, and also kind of what's coming up in the pipelines?
Okay, so I decided to call it the Urban Apothecary, much to my son's distaste, because he's my web designer and he's just doing my website now. And he goes, "What did you call it apothecary for?" He says, "No one can say that word."
I always get apothecary. People always say that one to me.
Apothecary. I find it quite easy, and even my mum can't say it, but it just felt right. I've always loved that word, and I thought, well, I'm going to call it that because I love it. And so I do work for Switched On Health, so I will be marking assignments. I'm hoping to write a few subjects for them, such as herbal pet care, and I've just written a book preparing herbal extracts using cold percolation, so I'll probably do something on that, video on that to go with it.
Beautiful. That's exciting.
Because there's nothing better than watching, and talking while you watch. I'm not good at the video thing, but that's something new that I'll learn. So the book is on Byron Botanicals at the moment, and you can buy it there. But I will have it on my website when that's finished, which will be finished in the next few weeks. And then what else will I be doing? I do the herbal gathering, and I will be doing a few workshops on herbal manufacture, herbal skincare products, which I just do from time to time. I just advertise them on Eventbrite or something like that, some sort of form. And then I'm hoping to do a few online. It's just got to perfect the video doing. It's something new for me, so I will have to perfect that.
Well, you just got nice new headphones for this interview, so that's one good step.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, beautiful. So just for the listeners, I am going to put a link in the show notes for so that you can see Sharn's new book, which is what's the name of it again?
Preparing herbal extracts using cold percolation. So that's how I've pretty much made my herbal tinctures probably for the past 15 years, except for some herbs like resinous herbs, mucilaginous herbs. I don't use a percolator for that.
Like comfrey root.
Like comfrey. You can't get it to drip. It's like watching snot pour for hours. So I use maceration for that.
Yeah.
And I do make quite a few fresh plant tinctures. So my favourite is skullcap. And I have lots of skullcap growing, and I think it's my favourite because I need it.
Yeah.
I find it hard to switch off at night, so I end up overthinking things. So I go to my favourite, and skullcap is one of those that you really need to make fresh plant tincture. It doesn't work very well if it's not fresh. And I just love it. When I make it, it's like my baby. And so, yes, fresh plant tinctures I make as well. And I've just bought myself I don't know what you call it, a magic butter machine.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to, from the garden, I'm going to make a whole load of beautiful infused oils, and I'll do markets in Adelaide. So I won't be having a for sale thing on my website because it was part of selling the business, but I can do some local markets, which I needed to do because if I want to have students, I have to have something for them to do. So they can make stuff for the markets. They can come and do the markets with me and, do that sort of stuff. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing, all of that. And I will do some consulting as well.
Beautiful. Yeah, well, let us know when you do create your online learning spaces as well, because
Mhm.
we'll make sure we put it up on our social media, and so our listeners, I know that
Mm.
I'll be definitely coming along to that. I really need, I feel like I've done a few different herbal manufacturing courses, and the creams are always the thing that's just I don't feel confident with. And people in my a lot of my students keep asking me, oh, when are you going to teach us to make creams? I'm like, look, I am not confident enough to try to teach it. So
Well, I'll make that my first.
yeah,
I'll
okay.
make that my first video,
Thank you.
and so that you can get stuck into doing it. I thought I might get Deb to make up some kits as well, so people can do the course and get the kit and start
Yeah,
and
that's a
have a
great
little
idea.
test and make sure you get it properly. And
Yep.
because I think too, if you make it so that you have to submit something or at least talk about it and show it on a video, then you're more inclined to do it once you've watched the video.
Yep.
And then you get a certificate or something. But making creams is just, honestly, I sit there and I stir and I stir and I sit in the garden and I stir and stir. I mean, you can use a machine to do it, but why? Because you infuse all this energy into the cream, the base. And I usually will make a base. If I want to make 20 jars of something, say I'm making calendula, hypericum, and padiaco as an antifungal, then I'll make the base. While it's soft, I pour the tincture in and then I just sit until it starts to thicken. And then when it gets thick enough, I pour it into the jars. And it's just so nice to just actually make the whole thing from scratch, put it into the jar, watch it set, and then make your little
Mm,
labels. It's so nice. Um, I wouldn't do it any other way.
beautiful.
I would just make everything yourself. And then when you give it to your clients, they just love the fact that you've made it. Sometimes I just make up a base and the client comes in and they may need a topical cream for something. And I make it in front of them and they're like, oh my goodness, it's such a good thing to do, because then they realize, oh, a story that I'll tell you that's quite interesting, and I'll be quick. When I moved to Adelaide, the first time my daughter had a marriage breakup, and I moved to Adelaide for a year to live with her and help her out. And I was a part of a goddess group, and I didn't have any tinctures. And so I said to the goddess group, would you help me make 120 tinctures? So I got 120 herbs, 120 jars, and I taught them how to make it, and they are. I didn't realize you actually use real plants. They just didn't know that that's what herbal medicine was.
Oh my gosh.
So it was really lovely, except I had to shake 120 jars twice a day. I ended up
Wow.
with muscles, muscles on muscles.
Wow.
It was interesting.
Hmm. Oh, beautiful. Oh, thank you. This has been such a great chat. I feel like we could talk for a lot longer. Um, but we're kind of going to wrap it up
Mm.
here. Is there something like that you would maybe that we haven't covered today that you'd love to share with our listeners? Any kind of parting words with them?
Oh, if you're thinking of studying herbs, even if you're not, learn as much as you can. Even if you're just interested in herbs, try making things, try the herbs.
Mm.
Make sure you know that you've got some really good books. Don't try something if you don't know exactly what it is. Be really cautious. As well, I always tell my students, make identification is one of the most important things. Having lots of books, go to Savers, go to the Goodwill, buy as many books as you can get. Yeah, watch videos online. I do that. I pay to listen to Matthew Wood because I don't get to hear the grassroots stuff here so much.
Mm.
So pay to do that. Look for herbal stuff in your community. Really important. Find someone. I'm in Adelaide. If there's any students that are looking to work with a a herbalist, you're quite welcome to contact me, Sharn Harper, or look up on Facebook, the Urban Apothecary, and join the group and message me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm quite happy to chat with you and maybe have you come over and work. So yeah, just join in stuff that's local if you can to start your journey.
Yeah. Beautiful, wonderful words of wisdom. It's been so wonderful to interview you here today, Sharn. Thank you so much for all of your wisdom and your sharing your journey with everyone. And it's been very inspirational for me, and I'm sure for a lot of people out there. So yeah, thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you for having me, Twiggy. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to the Herbal Education segment of the Elder Tree podcast. Stay tuned every new moon as I interview amazing and inspiring herbal educators from around Australia. To find out more about the Elder Tree, you can go to our website, which is theeldertree.org. And through our website, you can subscribe to our mailing list. You can also follow our journey on Instagram and on Facebook. Thank you again so much, and have a most wonderful day.